All right, team, welcome to the Next Fitness Show. My name is Alexis Craig. This is episode 95. I'm so grateful that you're here with us. Thank you for being here. And we have a great show for you today. Now, if you're actually here live right now, please jump into the live chat and say, hey, go ahead and just say hi. Let me know that you're here. That way I can say hi back to you too. I also really encourage you right now to push the like button on this video. Go ahead and do it right now. It'll really help this video get out to more people, let them know that this is happening right now. Now, if you are watching this as a recording, I'm so glad that you're here too. Thank you for watching this. And please go ahead and jump into the comments below and just say hey to us there too. I would love to. I will respond to your comment and I would just love to know that you are here. All right, so this Next Fitness Show is a production of The Next Fitness Thing. We are much more than just a YouTube channel. We are a health and wellness platform that's all online. We have lots of events and classes and opportunities for you to take advantage of. We have fitness classes 7 days a week. We also have meditations, we have programs, we have challenges. And if you want to check us out, go to thenextfitnessthing.com. You can also find us on social media. We have a Facebook group that you can join and find us there. There's lots of support in there and community. We do have a Discord, and I'll talk to you about that later. And you can also find us on Instagram and TikTok and all the places. And our handle is The Next Fitness Thing, except on TikTok, we couldn't get that many characters, so it's just Next Fitness Thing. All right, cool. So without further ado, we have an amazing show for you today. Today's show, we are going to talk a lot about winter. Now, it is officially not quite winter yet, right? The official start date of winter is December 21st. And for a lot of people, it's essentially winter already. I'm teaching classes all week, and especially lots of these walking classes that are happening live. And in the walking class, people are walking. Sometimes they're inside, sometimes they're outside. And I mean, we have folks in class dealing with snow, dealing with ice, dealing with freezing temperatures left and right now. So if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, I'd love to know, is it winter for you already? I live in California, but I live in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and it has definitely already snowed in the Sierra Nevadas. It hasn't really stuck yet. We're actually kind of hoping for more snow as soon as possible so we can all get to, all the fun winter activities, but winter is coming. All right, what's going on in the chat? Aaron says hello. Edie says hello. Donna D says hello. Megan says hello. All right, Mom says winter starts the day after you were born. That's true. My birthday is the day before winter solstice. And Aaron says, it is winter here, even if not officially. Right, exactly. So what we're going to talk about today is how do you meet winter when it comes to your health and your wellness? And what are some strategies that you can use to actually welcome winter and to really be attuned to winter and make it so that you can still stay and feel healthy and embodied in your vitality? We also will have a stretch break about halfway through this show, so you'll get a chance to move your body and stretch it out with us a little bit. And we have a move of the week. With the move of the week, we will talk about a fitness exercise and talk about how best to actually perform this exercise. I do have some announcements from the next fitness thing that I want to share with you, and we have a little bonus topic at the end. Okay, so let's get into it. Are you ready? Let's talk about winter. Now, I'd love to know from you, before we even start with any of this, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to your health and wellness in the winter? Drop that, whether it's in the chat or maybe it's in the comments. What do you actually struggle with, or what's challenging for you in the winter? I know a lot of people, especially at this time of year between Thanksgiving and New Year's, tend to kind of fall off of health habits and everything just gets really um, out of balance for a lot of people. That's why so many people, in my opinion at least, so many people are trying to make this New Year's resolution to come back and to find this more intention of vitality when it gets to be January, because the previous at least 6 weeks is like off the rails. So let's talk about this from a few different perspectives. The first one is, let's talk a little bit about your mood and light, and especially how that relates to mental health. Now, you've definitely noticed already, right, that the light wanes as it gets to this part of the year. It is getting less and less and less sunlight and more and more and more dark, right? And daylight savings is not helping with that. So what can we do? What can we actually do to meet this? We've talked about this on this show a little bit, but I want to get a little bit deeper with this. When it comes to the light, one thing that happens as there's less and less light is you might find yourself having less and less energy, and you might also find yourself kind of getting more and more in the dumps. Now, some people might have it to a level where they would call it seasonal affective disorder, and for others, it's more of just a sense where you can feel like you're in a darker place, and you literally are in a darker place. So, why is this happening? One is that the light biologically actually affects our mood. So, serotonin, which is a kind of like feel good chemical that's in your body, is released from light. Like being exposed to light makes you have an experience of serotonin in your body. So if you are literally in a dark place, you have less serotonin being activated in your body. Now, meanwhile, there's another chemical called melatonin, and that's a hormone that lets you sleep. And the melatonin in the dark is more present. So the more that you're in the dark, the more you have melatonin, which is going to make you feel sleepy, and, and the less serotonin that you have, that's going to make you feel energized and happy. So it's actually totally natural for you to feel more tired at this time of year. It is expected for you to feel more tired at this time of year. It is normal to want to sleep more at this time of year, and not only normal, but healthy for you to sleep more at this time of year. And I know that this especially may not totally jive with holidays and with capitalism, right? It's like we're kind of expected to just perform and to be up and to be jolly and to be energized and to be doing all the holiday bustle stuff, even though what your body is calling for is sleep, rest, go inward, stay inside. It's cold outside, right? So, in my view, this really like separation from culturally what's expected and biologically what is being called for is the reason there's a rift between them. And that is why we are feeling so off at this time of year, is because you're being called to do a bunch of things that your body is telling you to do something else. So what do you listen to? And I would just offer that the more that you can actually attune to the natural cycles, the more that you can honor what your body is calling for, the better you're going to feel. And the less that you shame yourself for sleeping more and for doing less, the better you're going to feel. All right, lots is happening in the chat right now. Let's check that out. Okay, Aaron says not being able to go outside as much is that's a challenge because it's too cold and snowy and icy. Yeah, I hear you. And it feels probably a little bit dangerous to go outside because it's slippery outside and it feels like there's a lot to navigate to be able to go out there, right? Yep, totally get it. Daniela says, hello, hello, great to have you here. Mom says it's easy to stay snuggled under the covers instead of jumping up ready to roll. Yes. And what I'm saying here is that being snuggled under the covers is a good thing to do at this time of year. Donna D says life is too busy in December with all the events and responsibilities. Yes. And I can just feel how there's a couple of forces that are going on with this, right? One is that it's the end of the year. And when it comes to like financial systems, everyone wants to make sure that they're going out with lots of prosperity. So that is certainly part of what's going on. There's also this piece where it may not be so nefarious. There's this part where it is this time that everyone may be automatically feeling a little bit more down. And so there's this way that as a culture over time, we have cultivated these events to celebrate coming together and celebrate merriment, and especially because this time of year would is the time when food is a little more scarce, especially if you're living off of the land, right? Like there is actually less food and things like that and starts to be this time of year for that. So our ancestors created these festivals where everyone can come together, where there's a feast, so everyone gets to eat, and also so you can remember that you all love each other and you're going to help each other get through the winter. So, in a certain way, having these events that take some effort to make happen are of service to us at this time of year. It's just really important that we're honoring the natural cycle at the same time and allowing our body to also have what it needs when it comes to all of this. Like, pulling an all-nighter to wrap presents all night is not necessarily going to be super helpful to your vitality. Mom, just kidding. Um, Daniela says, I have not wanted to go outside due to the cold. Right. Okay. So multiple people are saying, I don't want to go outside because it's really cold. Aaron's saying being dark at 4 p.m. sucks. Right. I absolutely, absolutely hear you. Edie says, same, Aaron, because it's like cold and it's icy. You don't necessarily want to go outside. I get it. I get it. And mom says, putting cracking fire on the YouTube, it makes you feel warmer. Yeah, I like it. You put the fire on YouTube, even if it doesn't actually make. At my house, the fireplace is the only way that you can heat the house. You're either taking a bath or you're starting a fire, one or the other. So the fireplace is actually the way to be warm. Mom says she likes the fire on the fireplace on the TV, but you can't watch TV at the same time. Aw, that's probably a good thing. Okay, so the other thing going on with this is when it is darker, we want that serotonin, right? So you want to have that serotonin. So what are you going to do to try to make the serotonin happen? Well, one of the things that's one of the automatic, maybe even one of the more innate things to do is to eat, right? And especially to eat carbs. And I mean, in our culture, it's sugar, but our ancestors didn't really have sugar, actually. They didn't have it. So eating carbs in general does give you some serotonin. So you might feel drawn to eat the starchy food or the sugary food because you're going to get a little bit of a mood boost from that. Part of that is natural and it's good for you to get a little bit of a mood boost. It's actually really natural for you to want to have a little bit more carbs. But I'm talking the way there's a way to do that where it's actually a healthy way to do it. And it doesn't have to be, you know, cookies, cake, and pie and sugary drinks. Um, the other thing going on with this, though, is also that when it's cold, it actually takes more energy for your body to operate. So if you are out in the cold, you're burning more calories just by being in the cold. So from that, your body wants to eat more because it's like, oh, I'm out here shivering. It takes so much energy for me to be out here shivering. So I better eat some more. So if you find that you're drawn to be eating more at this time, that's actually totally normal, natural, totally normal and natural. And I would also say it's natural to want to eat more at this time because there is this like biological fear of famine in the winter. So your body may feel drawn to eat to make sure that you feel like you're going to be okay to make it through the cold. So, what I would suggest with that is just make sure you're eating in balance. Be very conscious about making healthy choices, and it doesn't have to be, even if you feel drawn to eat a ton of carbs, you can also eat protein and fat. You can also make sure you're getting lots of nutrients along with it. Um, and you don't just have to go straight for the fix. Okay. So, with that, one thing that you can also try when it comes to this is that you can try to actually get more light. So there's a few ways you can do this. One is open the windows, right? And you don't have to open the glass, open the blinds, open the windows and let a little bit of light in. Now, is the light that comes through the windows as good as being outside? No, it's not, because your windows have filter on them that's going to keep out a lot of the good parts of sunlight that are good for vitality for you. So the ideal is to actually go outside. I know it's cold, but even if you're outside in the shade, you are actually getting more from the sunlight than you are if it's through the windows. Through the windows is better than not. So if you can go outside, I would definitely suggest go outside, especially when the sun is up. I would also suggest that first thing in the morning, when you first wake up, make sure you get some light into your eyes. So if it's possible when you first wake up, maybe you want to open all the blinds. Maybe you can go outside for a moment, and if it's cold, you'll wake up real quick. But get light into your eyes when you're waking up, and that is going to help you to have more energy and to be happier throughout the day. All right, what's happening in the chat? Edie says, although I want hot food, I don't want to cook it. Yeah, that's the thing. I understand that too. Um, and if all of this business with talking about getting more light in your eyes, you're like, it's just not realistic for me for whatever reason. Maybe when you wake up, the sun's not up yet. Maybe it really is the weather's too extreme for you to actually go outside. There are some, technological things that you could do in order to do this as well. I know our trainer Mary Beth swears by the having one of these light boxes. I've personally never tried it. Have you tried it? I would love to know if you have actually had an experience of having one of these light boxes that it shines light that mimics sunlight And it's basically meant to help your mood, help your energy level. It may also be helpful to your circadian rhythms, help you with your sleep. So I've personally never tried it, but I'm really, really curious about this, especially for those of you who may live somewhere where it's really, really, really dark. Um, what is important with this? Now, it's not just a normal light. It's really important that you're getting a full spectrum light. That means that it's not only blue light, and especially because most of these light boxes are made with LEDs now. LEDs typically are blue light. So you have to intentionally get LEDs that are full spectrum in order for it to work in the way that you're hoping for it to work. I would also just look and see if there's any kind of certifications on it for safety. You don't want to get like a tanning bed sunburn or anything like that from one of these lights. Um, the recommendation, according to my research, is something like 15 to 30 minutes. So it's not really that long to put it on. It's especially helpful in the morning. You should not use it at night. And it's good for the light to get to your eyes, but you don't really actually want the light to shine directly at your eyes. And I would even say that this woman in this video, I don't want to say you're doing it wrong, but like the recommendation is that you angle the light downward so that it's not shining directly at your face. But do your own research. I'm certainly not an expert at this. I've never used one of these. I'm curious about them though. Donna D says, I find walking in the cold and with the sun invigorates me. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that segue because that is exactly what I want to talk about next is how to get movement in the winter that really works. So let's talk about it. How do you like to move in the winter? I know what Donna D is saying is exactly how I feel. I love being outside in the winter. There's something about being out in the cold where it gives me energy to be in the cold. And I don't want to feel cold necessarily. So it makes my body want to move so that I don't feel cold. And I mean, I tend to find I I live somewhere it's like basically Lake Tahoe, and it is cold, but it's not like 20 below cold. It's, 0 degrees cold or something like that. But I mean, I find that I'm actually hot when I go outside and move my body. And I find that, oh, I have this jacket on. I don't even need this jacket. I'm totally creating my own heat. So you may find that to be true. Now, you can do this by going for a walk. And that's one thing that through the Next Fitness Thing platform, we have these walks throughout the day so that you could go for a walk and you can do it wherever you want. You could do it inside your house, but you could also go outside. And we have people a lot of times, I mean, people who are even here right now, Aaron and Donna D, Carol, Daniela, Edie, going outside in the cold, doing your walk. The other thing, so the biggest thing with that is just make sure that you actually have the equipment, right? And I mean, maybe this goes without saying. This might be totally obvious, but make sure that you have shoes that have traction and you're not going to slip. Make sure if it's freezing, you have a jacket. You might want to wear a hat so that you actually don't lose all your heat through the top of your head, right? These are all things that I don't know. For me, they feel like obvious, but maybe if you don't haven't lived in a cold place before, you might not be as familiar. Um, the other thing to say with the walking is actually the perfect intensity of exercise to make you happier from movement. A lot of times, if you're doing more intense movement, so if you're doing like high intensity intervals, I'm never going to talk bad about high intensity intervals. I actually think they're really good for you too. And um, it, depending on how hard you're going, and depending on where you are in your hormones of your body, sometimes doing high intensity intervals can up your cortisol and can actually kind of work against you. So in my experience, it's really important if you're doing high intensity intervals that you're going like hard, 100%, so that you actually get the human growth hormone release and all of the good parts about it. You're not going like 80% because that's when you're getting the cortisol release. So, in my experience, it's either go for a walk where you're not going that hard, you're just consistently getting your heart rate up and feeling good. That's a really good way to build some warmth, to get all that mood boosting stuff going on and burn your calories and get out there. Or do high intensity intervals and go really hard. That's my suggestion. Okay. The other thing that I would say with this is, oh, plus if you go outside, you're going to get all the sunlight stuff besides. So you get, it's like all of it in one. Just wear your warm outfits. I know it takes some preparation. I know it's annoying. You have to bundle up in order to get going, but it can really, really have a lot of benefit for you. The other thing I would say is just participate in the chores that winter necessitates, right? Shoveling snow is amazing exercise. It is such good exercise. And when you are shoveling snow, practice good form. So when you're shoveling snow, I know I've seen so many people. I live in a ski resort town. So I've seen so many people when they're shoveling snow, they're like hunched over, arching their back, twisting, arching. You all the things that you're learning in fitness class about keeping a neutral spine, about lifting from your legs, about generating force from your hips and not from your back. All of these things that we've been drilling in class about how to move your body in a way that's safe. That's what you want to do when you're shoveling snow. That's what you want to do when you're all the chores that have to do with winter, right? And I will say, if you're out navigating ice, I understand that navigating ice as a whole, it can be really dangerous. Um, and training your balance in advance can help you be safer. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody to just go out and brave the ice on the sidewalk. Get some of those cleat things for your shoes so that you're actually able to be safe. But I don't know, a lot of times I can just say for myself, there's a way where a lot of women, we tend to maybe ask a man, hire a man, or rely on a man to do some of these physical activities of winter. And I will never shame you for that. Do what you want to do around it. At the same time, whatever you're comfortable with doing and getting outside and actually participating in these activities, it can be really, really good for your health. I'll say for me, this year, I started learning how to chop firewood. I never have done it before. I was actually scared to chop firewood because you have this big, heavy axe or maul that's really sharp, and it makes me nervous to even watch someone chop firewood. But I decided that I wanted to learn how to do it. It's such good exercise, and it's a movement pattern that I know from fitness, so I felt pretty confident that I would be able to learn it. So I've been learning to chop firewood, and it's been amazing. It's so fun. And it's really satisfying, especially if I've got like literally an axe to grind. If I have like something I'm upset about and I just go outside and I'm like, ah, like, oh, it feels so good. Especially when the wood actually splits, like, ah, it's great. So, and they say, that chopping firewood warms you twice. Totally is my experience. All right. So I would say walking is great in the winter. Maybe it's snowshoeing. Do your chores in the winter. And then the other thing is that especially if you need to stay inside, and I know like we have a bunch of Midwesterners in class, you guys just got the huge blizzards, wind, freezing, ice, all that stuff. It can also be a great time for you to just focus on strength training. If you need to stay inside, you can focus on strength training. Strength training is really, really helpful for improving your metabolism. So if you are eating more carbs at this time, it's going to help you to burn more calories all throughout the day. It makes you feel more powerful. Strength training is really great for, all the endorphins, the dopamine, all of those things to make you feel happier. Strength training is amazing. So I'm just going to say, do your walking, do your chores, do your strength training. That's my suggestions as far as movement in the winter. Okay, now let's talk a little bit more about your energy levels. We talked a little bit more about it from the mood perspective, but I want to talk about it now a little bit more from the metabolic perspective. Okay. So because it's darker and you may be sleeping more, which I'm actually advocating for, is sleep more, that may kind of slow down your metabolism. Basically, just meaning that if you're sleeping more, you're not going to be burning as much while you're sleeping. And if you're not getting outside as much as you would in other seasons, you also may not be burning as much. So, on one hand, I'm encouraging you to embrace this. If you notice yourself gaining weight at this time of year, it's normal. It's actually, I would say, within a moderation, it's healthy to gain weight in the winter. Your body is putting on weight to protect you in the winter. And the other thing to just say about this is you can make some good choices about how you're fueling your body that's going to be supportive. So, one piece is we mentioned it already, but make sure you're not just eating carbs, even if that's what you're craving. Make sure you're having protein and fat as well. The other thing I'm just going to say is eat things that are warm. Eat Edie's in the chat saying that I don't want to cook the food. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so what could you do if you don't want to cook the food? You got some options. One is batch cook the food, right? Things like soup or stew are really easy for batch cooking. Like my mom right now has a crock pot full of soup and she literally just adds things to the soup, you know, it's probably best to refresh it every few days, but just saying, like, you don't have to really do that much work to make something like soup or stew, especially if you have a crock pot. The other thing is you could cook a bunch of it and freeze some of it and only warm it up when you actually want to eat it. So this is a great time of year to do that, especially for those of us who have food that, like, I have a bunch of food from my garden, and this food from my garden is in the freeze. A lot of it's either canned or in the freezer right now because it's past the harvest season and we preserve this food. So this is the time of year. Some of that food we cooked before we preserved it. So some of that food, like we made pasta sauce before we put it in the freezer, that kind of thing. So that's basically ready to go. If you didn't already do that, it's not too late. So you can actually cook yourself. Maybe you're going to cook dinner tonight. Instead of cooking just tonight's dinner, cook a week worth of dinner and then portion it out and put in the freezer. And then when you don't feel like it, you've got something healthy to eat so you don't just automatically go for chips. Donna D says, put leftovers together from the refrigerator to make a goulash. I love that. Actually, I love that so much, making the goulash. Yes. Mom wants to know if the light box is expensive. It's a good question. Do some shopping around. I'm definitely not an expert on those. Mom's actually recommending the crock pot soup. Yep, exactly. You can put the leftovers in the crock pot soup too. Um, the other thing just to say is that what's in season right now is always a good choice. So learning what is actually in season. Do any of you actually have a garden going right now? In our garden right now, we harvested almost everything. The things that we still have that we can eat out of the garden, it's mostly greens, actually. So for those of you who live in really, really cold places, you may not be able to still do greens in the winter. But where I live, we do have a greenhouse actually, but it's not like a warm greenhouse. It's like a slightly warmer than the rest of the yard greenhouse. And we still have kale, we have radishes, we have mustard, we've got all that kind of stuff. A lot of the greens are still going. We can do it all winter. Other things like oatmeal is easy, right? Oatmeal, you can make oatmeal without having to do a lot of work. I would also suggest lots of these like squashes and even like carrots, you can use beans, chilies, all of those things are great right now. And the other piece with this is that at this time of year, we have a tendency to be more dehydrated. For one, it's like in summer, it's hot, so you want to drink because it's hot. In the winter, you might not feel that drive to drink liquids as much as you do in other seasons. Also, you may have like the heater blaring in your house or something, so there may be less moisture in the air. So, having soup is a really good way to replace liquid. Now, that said, you can also do hot drinks. And I'd love to hear what's your favorite. Like, what do you actually like for hot drinks in the winter? For me, of course, like I I li- I think I like coffee, but once I'm on like cup number two, then I'm like, I don't really want coffee. Um, Tea is great. And you can also do like all kinds of really fun things with this and even medicinal things. One thing I love to do at this time of year is to make chai. And I will just have a pot, almost like the same as the crock pot. You could do it in a crock pot, you could do it in a simmer pot on the stove, but I'll put a bunch of different herbs into the chai and just let it simmer for a long time. It makes the house smell so good and it tastes so good. It has, especially if you put warming herbs in there, like I love to put cardamom, I put cinnamon, I like to put even black pepper, I'll put turmeric in there. I put the, what's it called? Star anise, anisey? I don't know how you say it, but it's like tastes kind of like licorice you put in there. And these herbs have like a warming sensation when you're drinking them and you can spice it up to be so good. So I would, my personal suggestion on it is to try making your own chai. It's amazing. Way better than like if you don't think you like chai because you've only had it from the tea bag, you haven't even had it. Definitely make your own. Donnie says spiced cider. Yes, that's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. This is a different, it's like a different take on the same idea what I'm saying with the chai. With the cider, you can take like apple cider, for example, and just you don't have to just use whatever you would buy for apple cider. We've been making cider out of the apples in our garden, but besides that, you can like even if you're drinking apple cider from the store, you can still add your own herbs to it, like add more cinnamon, add and play with it, get have some fun with it, and actually make it so that it has some more warming herbs that have medicinal qualities that are going to make you get more out of it than just having, you know, yummy apple juice, right? Nice. Dondi says, oh, we were talking about the leftovers in the fridge with the goulash. Nice, nice. Love it. Mom says $30 for light therapy. Oh, that's totally affordable. Cool. Okay, now the other thing I'm just going to say about this with the energy and the metabolism is this one is honestly one of my favorites, and it is hydrotherapy. Now, tell me if you've tried this. It's funny because before I knew what this was, I already loved it. Like, have you ever been in a hot tub or a sauna when it's snowing outside? It's the best. When you're in the hot tub, like the guy in this photo, and it's snowing. Oh, to me, that's just paradise. I love it so much. And sometimes when you get in the hot tub, once you're in there for a little while, you're just kind of over it. It's so hot, right? So then you get out and you can either just like get out and stand in the cold. You can get out and, I mean, my friends and I, when I was a kid, we'd get out and roll around in the snow and then get back into the hot tub. Maybe not the best for the cleanliness of the hot tub water, but that was fun. And I know this is totally a thing with saunas as well. If hot tub's not your thing, maybe the sauna, you'd like that more, to go in the sauna and then go in the cold. At a lot of spas, they kind of try to replicate this, and I mean, I think this is a great idea too, where they have the cold plunge so that you can go in the hot water or in the sauna, and then you go in the cold plunge. Going back and forth between has so many health benefits to that. It acts like a pump. The cold is like constricting, and then the heat is an opener. And so it's like it pumps every cell of your body to make it so that you're flushing and also so that you're getting this vasodilation going on. It's great for your cardiovascular system. And it's definitely good for mood also. If you don't have access to this, that's okay. You can do it on a much smaller scale. You can go in the shower and turn it from hot to cold and hot to cold. Now, I know a lot of people aren't willing to do that, right? How many of you are actually willing to turn the water to cold in the shower? For those of you who live in really cold places, I can only imagine how cold your shower is on the full cold. Like, and if you don't want to get your whole body wet, you can also do this with a foot bath. So one thing that I like to do is I'll make two foot baths. So I make one with really hot water and one with really cold water. Now, you can do it where you put both feet into one and then both feet into the other and go back and forth. Or I like to do it where you put one foot into each. And for me, it makes it like if I have one foot in the hot, I'm not suffering so much with the foot in the cold because I can focus on the foot that's hot. Or if you're somebody who doesn't really like hot, you could focus on the one that's in the cold. Get what I'm saying? Um, so I've definitely heard a lot of you could go really deep in research around this, around, the way it cycles energy in your body. This is something that is practiced in many cultures, like doing this hot and cold therapy. It's definitely a thing of Nordic traditions. It's a thing in Chinese medicine. It's a thing in Ayurvedic traditions. I mean, this is something that is practiced widely around the world. So I really encourage you to have fun with it and experiment with it and come back and let me know. Okay, I have one more thing that I learned as I was researching this that I want to turn you guys onto. It's the concept of brown fat. Do you guys know about this? I honestly, I'd never even heard of this before. Do you know what brown fat is? Let me know in the chat if you've heard of this term before. So, what brown fat is, it's fat that keeps you warm on your body. So, it's like the type of fat on your body that helps you to regulate your heat. And apparently cold exposure activates it. So it actually makes your metabolism boost a little bit and it helps with your insulin sensitivity too. In order for this to work, you do not have to take a full-on ice bath. Just going outside on a cold day with your jacket on is enough. So just going outside on a chilly day, even when you're all bundled up, it still works. It still works. So I would encourage you to whatever it takes to get outside. And if you're not willing to get outside, even just turning the water in the shower down a little, like it doesn't have to be full on freezing, just turn it down from hot a bit for maybe 30 seconds and actually stand in it. It'll do it. Um, One other thing to say with this is if you, the whole waking up thing, the cold water really wakes you up. I mean, you've probably had that experience. The cold water really wakes you up. Likewise, the hot water is really, really effective for helping you sleep. So if you are someone who is feeling like it's really challenging for you to fall asleep at night, taking a really hot shower before bed can be helpful because then your body is trying to regulate the body temperature and it will kind of turn down metabolic processes. And in that, you will have a tendency to kind of get sleepy. So, all right. With that, the final topic for us to talk about in here before it's time to transition to something else is actually sleep. So let's talk a little bit about sleep. Sleep at this time of year can definitely be a thing, right? I know you might feel like drawn to sleep a lot, and it can also just be that your circadian rhythm might just really feel off at this time of year, where you might feel like it's really challenging to be able to sleep. Now, One thing to call out around this, yes, the temperature, all those things we're talking about, super effective. Another thing I just want to call your attention to is light. So I know for me in the winter, I tend to have all the lights on inside the house because the sun's going down at like 4 o'clock and I know I'm going to be awake until at least 9. And so I just turn on all the lights in the house to make it so that I still feel awake and lively so that I can get things done around the house into the evening like I normally would, right? Well, here's the thing. The blue light really, really, really affects a lot of things, including your sleep. The blue light actually might, I'm not going to go too far down this right now, but the blue light actually may have negative health effects in a lot of ways. So, if it's possible for you to have incandescent lights in your house, I would really, really suggest incandescent lights. Now, I know that is not the way, that's not what we've been told, at least from an environmental perspective. We've been, they take more energy than LEDs. Also, they don't last as long as LEDs. So I understand that there's a little bit of a back and forth going on around this. And I mean, I think there was even federal regulations like they're trying to make the incandescent lights go away, and maybe now they're coming back. All I'm saying is avoid blue light. You've probably been hearing this, people have blue light glasses and that kind of thing, but especially at night, you're going to want to either transition to incandescent light or at the very least a warmer version of LEDs. So if you can get the LEDs that have a warmer light, it may be a little bit better. You want to dim everything, especially as you're transitioning to go to bed. You want to be dimming, 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 dimming lights. And I feel like people are attuned to this now, like using your phone, using your computer is going to make you, besides the content you're seeing on there, that also is going to be messing with all kinds of hormones in your body and your mood. Besides that, the light itself will mess with your sleep. So I would love to hear what your practice is around this. What do you do around this? I will say this is an opportunity for me. I usually am like I have all the lights on and then it's time for sleep and I have all the lights off. So I could do better with this. I usually have no problem falling asleep. I'm just a good sleeper. But I understand that that is not generally the case for a lot of people. Aaron says my bathroom light dimmer is the best home improvement ever. Yeah, there you go. Bathroom light dimmer. I love that. So maybe you're using that as a night light. Maybe you're using that to take a bath before you go to bed so that you can keep the light low in the bathroom and also heat yourself up before you go to bed. So if you have any personal practices around this, I would love, love, love to hear it. All right. What else we got? Oh, guess what? It's time for the stretch break. All right, cool. Let's do the stretch break. So, our stretch break today, I know a lot of you guys are really cold. So, our stretch break today to bring in the warmer vibes is cactus pose. I thought this mug was so cute, but really it looks more like this cactus pose. Cactus pose is something we do in class all the time. Cactus pose is often paired with other poses, but I encourage you, let's do this right now. So we're going to do cactus pose right now. Elbows wide, palms forward, and pull your elbows back, pull your wrists back. Now notice if you arched your back and see if you can keep your ribs in your body and at the same time pull back. Good. Now notice if your head sticks out in the front and see if you can keep your neck aligned and also pull your arms back at the same time. Look for a stretch across your chest. You're activating your back. Keep reaching through your fingers and keep breathing. Awesome. Now, I especially like this with the wall slide. So that's like reaching your arms up over your head. My arms disappeared and then pull them down and back. Nice. Okay, good. Release it, shake it out a little bit. I love cactus pose. It's a heart opener. It's good for your back strength. It's great for shoulder mobility. And you can practice cactus pose while you're doing other things. So in yoga, we would add cactus pose to goddess pose, which is like a wide, low squat. To a lunge, we might add it to a stretch when you're laying on your back on the floor. We might add it to a stretch when you're laying on your belly on the floor. It's something that you can do it by itself, and you can also add it into other things, and it's so good. Now, especially in the winter, or especially if you're kind of feel more sedentary these days, or if you're looking at your phone a lot, or you're wrapping presents, or you're baking cookies, or whatever kind of hunched over thing that you might be doing in December, cactus pose, open it back up. Keep your heart open up your shoulders, and open up your breath. Yeah. All right. Aaron's struggling with autocorrect. I hear you. I knew it was autocorrect. I knew it. Okay, now it's time for our move of the week. Now, our move of the week is bringing in the opposite side of the spectrum. The move of the week, in the interest of attuning to winter, is speed skaters. All right, can we see the speed skaters? No. Let's see if I can get the speed skaters going. Where's the speed skaters? There we go. There we go. We got Rosie doing speed skaters. Okay, so I have 3 different videos to show you of what speed skaters could look like. Rosie's the middle of the road. All 3 of these videos show the back foot not touching the ground. I personally, when I do speed skaters, 100% of the time I touch the back foot to the ground. So if you want to go leap, cross back, touch your foot to the ground, do that. Don't feel like you have to balance, especially if touching your foot to the ground helps you really go for distance more from side to side. So check out Veronica. Veronica is going for it a little bit more. I mean, I would even like to see a little bit more leaping from side to side. Now, you got to listen to your body. If your knees aren't going to like that, if your feet aren't going to like that, listen to your body. And as you progress your speed skaters, I encourage you to leap from side to side. Being able to leap to the side and catch yourself is so good for your balance. It's great for glute medius. It's great for all your stabilizer muscles, and it's great for skill building. Not to mention make you speed skate a little faster. How many of you guys are actually speed skating? Okay, now I want to also show you the regression here. So we have Mary Beth. Mary Beth is doing more of just like step, cross back, step, cross back. She is keeping her feet underneath her body. Now, I already know Mary Beth has got issues going on in her knees. So if she needs to keep this a little bit more contained and a little bit safer so that she feels like she's not jeopardizing her joints, then this more moderate version where you're step, cross back is the way to do the speed skaters. So whatever version you're up for, whether it is the little step cross back, a little bit bigger like what you saw with Rosie, or a giant leap like what you saw with Veronica, speed skaters are awesome for balance. They're awesome for training glute medius. It's just great to get into the lateral plane, get into the frontal plane is what it's called, instead of just moving forward all the time, especially for those of you who do a lot of walking, because when you're walking, it's forward, and moving sideways uses different muscles. So I love speed skaters. All right, here we go. Now we get to do announcements. All right, let me get the announcements going. All right, our first announcement is, here we go. I have 2 screens today. It was my first time ever trying this with 2 screens. I think I like it better, but I'm still working on the kinks out a little bit. Okay, our first announcement is this Sunday is True Crime Walk. Yay! So Anna, our team leader, is leading True Crime Walk this Sunday. This is one of our most fun classes. Anna goes really deep and she really does her research when it comes to these true crime cases. You go for a walk, and Anna is just giving you the full story of what's going on with some kind of true crime. If you're into this kind of stuff, this is an amazing, amazing offering. And it's on Sunday. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific. If you want to check it out, this is in our schedule. For those of you who might not be members, if you go to thenextfitnessthing.com, you can check out the True Crime Walk. You can even just get like the free trial membership will not give you access to this, but if you do sign up for an annual membership, you do get a week of a free trial, so you can check it out. Okay. Also, we have a new walking challenge. This walking challenge is short and it starts on Monday. So this is starting on Monday, December 8th. This is our Walk Forward, Reflect Back challenge. Now, this challenge is only 4 days. It's also super cheap. And this challenge is really there to help you to take inventory of 2025. We're toward the end of the year right now, and you're about to go into the holidays, or maybe you're already kind of in the thick of it. And this is a challenge for you to really reflect on your takeaways of this year, about the things that for you to be proud of, the things that you've achieved this year, and also the things that have been really challenging for you this year and what you've learned. As we are reflecting back, we are also encouraging you to walk forward. So this isn't quite the like set New Year's resolutions challenge, but it's really just feeling into what your hopes and dreams are for the new year that's coming, so that you have a process for feeling into what your intentions will be for the next year. So this is walk forward, reflect back. I will tell you, the Monday class is Tabatas. So these there's a variety of walking formats. Some of them are more intense than others. If you're staying inside, you will have something that you can do in this. I will make sure that you have intervals to do if you need them in this walking challenge. And I'd love to see you there. It is twice a day, Monday through Thursday, December 8th to the 11th. So if you want to check it out, go to thenextfitnessthing.com/reflect and sign up. Members of the Next Fitness Thing get a huge discount on this challenge. All right. Our next announcement is our holiday party is on Saturday, December 13th. So this is not like tomorrow, but it's a week from tomorrow. 1 week from tomorrow on Saturday, December 13th, it's at 9 a.m. Pacific. So for you East Coasters, it's at noon. And this is going to be our holiday party, which is always, to me, my favorite event of the whole year anyway. There's lots of fun and silliness at the holiday party. And besides that, we're also giving awards this year. So for those of you who have been part of the Next Fitness Thing throughout the year, come. You have nominated each other for awards. So come to the award ceremony and get recognized. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. Book club. Our book club this month is on December 21st. And the book is called The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. I just found this book for myself, so I haven't really started it yet. But Casey is leading the book club this month. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific on Sunday, the 21st. If you want more information about this, you can go to thenextfitnessthing.com/book club. And if you go to that site, not only will you find the books, you can find the recordings of the previous book clubs if you missed it. A lot of people missed the November one due to a timing issue. So if that's you, you can go find the recording on this site. And if you're looking for the book, whether you want to find as an audiobook or if you want to find at your library or if you want to find at your local bookstore, we have links to all of those things at thenextfitnessthing.com/book club. All right. If you're not in our Discord, join it. I'll put the link in the show notes. And if you are in the Discord, but you're not really active in there, get in there. Get in there, comment on things, at least put your goals for the goals walk in there. Erin is listening to the book club book right now, and she says she likes it so far. Nice. All right, cool. And okay, this is our final tip before we go, and this is weighted blankets. How many of you have tried the weighted blanket? I got one for Christmas a few years ago, and honestly, I love the weighted blanket. This to me is something that is not only helpful for sleep, but it's also helpful for nervous system. So if you're someone who has more anxiety at this time of the year, the weighted blanket feels like a big warm hug. It reminds me of being a baby when you kind of like, maybe not the littlest baby where you don't put blankets on them yet, but it really makes me just feel like I'm sort of contained. Um, I know this is a maybe controversial one. Some people can't stand the weighted blanket. I like it with my feet out, but the weighted blanket can be really, really helpful for helping your body to relax. It can help to turn your mind off. It can help you, even if you might be an anxious person going to bed, where you might not find it generally that easy to fall asleep, then the weighted blanket can help you because it's like the sensation of falling asleep that you have where you feel like your body is kind of heavy. It like overemphasizes that, and for me it makes me fall right asleep. I love the weighted blanket. um what else do I want to say about this? I mean, try it. I would say try it. It seems like it's a very polarizing item. Some people can't stand it. I love it. I love the weighted blanket. And if you're sleeping in the same bed as someone else, that's the thing you kind of have to navigate with the weighted blanket. It is a little harder to steal. If someone is stealing your covers, the weighted blanket's harder to steal. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. Mom says it relaxes everything and knocks you out. Yeah, that's totally my experience of it. My only beef with the weighted blanket is when you're making the bed, it makes it way more of a workout to make the bed with the weighted blanket. Way more of a workout. You're not gonna just like, I mean, with the weighted blanket, there's no way that you're just gonna like shake it out or something. And the one that I have, it has like a duvet on it basically, so you can wash that, so you don't have to put the weighted part of the weighted blanket in the washer. All right. If you have thoughts or feelings around the weighted blanket, I'd love to know what it is. Drop that in the chat. Let me know. Yay or nay to the weighted blanket. Okay. And that brings us to the end of the show. So thank you for being here. Look at all these people still in here. Thank you for being here. It is such a joy to be here in the show with you and to just be in this community with you. I love you guys so, so much. Take good care. I'll be back here next week with another awesome show. And in the meantime, I'm teaching class tomorrow. If you want to come, we have scavenger hunt in the morning. We have stretch class. We have Pilates. Anna's teaching on Sunday. We have yin yoga on Sunday. We've got class all week next week. So love to see you there. All right, get lots of sleep. Get lots of sleep. And have a wonderful week. All right, let's dance it out. I love you, team. Aaron says nay to the weighted blanket. You're a wiggler. I hear you. I hear you.